that this is the Shohei Ohtani world, and we just live in it. Astros fans, your team doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you are in first place in the AL West. It's all about Shohei Ohtani, and we will get to watch him on TV. Don't you feel special? Hey, we're going to preview this series on the Locked On Astros podcast. Let's go, Stros!
It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we update you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Astros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter and Astros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive, always Stros.
Alrighty. So the series you've been waiting for, we get to play Shohei Ohtani and the Angels. Do they have anybody left on their team? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Max Stassi's having a decent year.
Hey, John Heyman says that Max Scherzer could be switching sides and going to play for the Angels next year. Who knows? That could be fun. This is my level of my concern about Max Scherzer going to play for the Angels. Okay, who else is going to be playing for the Angels?
See, I don't even see John Heyman's tweets because he blocked me because I criticized him for being too critical of the Astros. So I don't even know who John Heyman is.
Yeah, so speaking of that, today's show is brought to you by Spotify Green Room. It's changing the way we talk sports. If you want to go ahead and get in a conversation, I know we have this chat room, and no matter where you're listening, you can go ahead and ask us questions. We don't really have a game to talk about, so ask us questions. Do you have any concerns? Do you have any comments? Go and put them in the chat, and we'll go and talk about them. But Spotify Green Room, you can go ahead and download the app. Right now, I believe it's only on Apple. So if you want to go and download the app and go and follow me at Eric Huysman, and you can go and follow Brett at H-Town Wheelhouse. And it's changing the way you talk sports. You can be part of the podcast, and it's just awesome. So go ahead and download it and join conversation. So today's show, we're going to go ahead and use this platform to go ahead and talk about this great series. The Angels are an exciting team. I know they're Troutless and they're Rendon-less and whatever else, but they still have Ohtani. We're not going to see him on the mound, thank goodness, but we're going to see him on the at the plate, and he's having a great season.
He is.
He's got 38 home runs. He's batting .267. Will we see an MVP batting .267? That's an interesting question. I mean, he's got 84 RBIs already, but what he's been doing at the plate and on the mound is impressive. So,
yeah, I think he's a shoo-in. I mean, I don't see how you don't pick him as the MVP simply because he's also pitching. I would say if he was only hitting, probably Vlad Guerrero Jr. gets it. But I mean, someone like Michael Brantley deserves to be in the conversation this year. I just think that he has the way he's been hitting the ball. No. Wait. Oh, are you watching the Yankees White Sox game? Are you saying
no? I'm calling you a homer.
No, I'm talking about the guy that's probably going to win the batting title.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
He gets to be a MVP because he wins a
Well, Vlad Guerrero Jr. is in the conversation because of his power numbers and because of his average, not because of his glove. So I'm just saying the MVP, a lot of times, unless it's a pitcher like Ohtani, unless it's someone who wins it on top of the Cy Young, it's typically a position player, and it's typically based on their hitting. I mean, Bregman wouldn't have sniffed the top five of the MVP had he not been batting like that. It was his batting and his fielding that was getting him there. But I really think that the Angels have just this unfortunate circumstance where they have a huge payroll. They have big stars who aren't making any impact because they're not well. They're not on the field. And even when they are on the field, Eric, they don't have any pitching. And they have mismanaged this ball club. And one of the things I do want to get to tonight is after we talk about the series, is talk a little bit about the game going on in Iowa, because that was pretty cool. I know you've been out of pocket a little bit today, but I was able to watch the intro to that. And I kind of want to hit on that later in the show because the Field of Dreams game is pretty cool. Yeah.
They will come.
And heck, they built it and they did. And Todd Callis, our own Todd Callis, is sitting right behind home plate getting gifts made of him as we speak. He's sitting there striking people out and doing this like after a call. And so people are making these gifts, zooming in on the TV. But we'll get to that later. So the Angels are throwing at us the MVP, I think, of the season so far, TBD. They still haven't announced, or have they announced it?
For some reason, MLB has not announced. MLB.com has not announced who's pitching, but I have a kind of good idea why. But Brett, you and I kind of know, but we'll kind of keep that on down low. But ESPN actually has the pitching matchup. So let's go and discuss the pitching matchups. And you're hearing this for the first time because you're not looking at it. But game one, it's going to be Zach Greinke versus Patrick Sandoval. Zach Greinke is 10-3 with 3.69 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, and he has 100 strikeouts and 136.2 innings pitched. I know that Sandoval, this is a pitcher the Astros traded. I believe who did they trade him for? It was who did they trade Sandoval?
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
It was. I don't even remember anymore.
I don't know, dude. I literally don't know.
It was somebody in the chat. Tell us who they traded Sandoval for. I remember they traded Patrick Sandoval for some player. I just can't think about it off the top of my head right now. Look for it while I'm talking. But Sandoval is 3-5 with the 3.39 ERA and 82 and 1/3 innings pitched this year. He has 91 strikeouts. He actually has been decent this year. He's been a pretty decent.
The Astros have struck a deal with division rival Angels to acquire backstop Martin Maldonado.
That's who it was. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it was a catcher.
I think that's why I didn't realize it was him, because I forgot that we traded for him. I forgot about that. I just remember him being here, leaving, and coming back. And so, but someone wants to know about our thoughts on Greinke for the season, Eric. That's an interesting topic, because when you talk to people about Greinke, they're like, I just don't have confidence in him. I just don't know about Greinke in the playoffs. And I'm like, he's 10-3. He's got an ERA. It's under 4. It's like 3.69, but his WHIP is 1.16. He hasn't been a bad pitcher this year. He's had a couple outings where he's gone in very short stints. And it's like, that's what people hyper focus on, his 3 losses, Right. And what do you think? I think his body of work is actually maybe not excellent, but it's been very good, I think, for the most part.
Well, looking at his last 5 games, he had 2 games that he's only gone 4 innings. Against the Giants, he lasted 4 innings. The Astros lost that game 8-6. He gave up 6 runs, 4 earned. The other one was versus the Yankees. He lasted 4 innings, but he only gave up 1 earned run and on 3 hits. I don't remember exactly why, off the top of my head, he only lasted 4 innings in that game. Maybe it was control or something. But he only – I don't remember why he only lasted 4 innings that game. But in the other ones, he had 5 1/3 innings pitched, 6 innings. But it seems like Dusty Baker's not going very long with any of his starters this year. We've seen Framber Valdez go deep in games. We've seen Lance McCullers a couple times go deep in the games. But, like Texas Strong says, Greinke would be fine in playoffs. We've seen him strong in playoffs. We've also seen him last 2 innings maybe in playoffs. So he's hit and miss, but I think that with his history in the playoffs, can you look this up real quick, what his history is in the playoffs? But I think he'll be fine.
In the postseason cumulative, I'll look it up right now once it pulls it up.
But I think that he's not that dominant pitcher he used to be, but he still knows how to pitch. He still knows how to get outs, and I'm not too worried about him. But if he's your number 3 pitcher, Lance McCullers or Framber Valdez are 1 and 2. So I believe that he is your number 3, and he's got 10 wins as your number 3. That's pretty impressive. So I know the offense has a lot to do with that, but he's still very entertaining to watch, and especially when he drops that 58 or 50 mile per hour curveball every once in a while, and so it's just entertaining to watch him. But yeah, you could be a little bit worried about that. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about Built Bar, and maybe before a start, Zach Greinke needs a Built Bar.
Yeah, Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar in the business. They wrap these bad boys in 100% chocolate. They're healthy for you. They're not loaded with calories and carbs that are kind of detrimental to a healthy diet. They have just the right amount. It's delicious flavors no matter what you want. They have this thing called grasshopper cookie, and you think, what is that? It's like the Thin Mint. It's their take on it. They also, for a limited time, have been showing Rocky Road as a flavor. I mean, they're constantly coming out with new flavors. So you don't just get used to, oh, I've got to order this again. If you want to try something new, it seems like almost every month or so, they're coming out with something special. 17 to 18 grams of protein in each bar, ranging from 130 to 180 calories, 4 to 5 grams of sugar, 4 to 5 grams of net carbs, all the flavors, all tasty, all healthy. The U.S. track and field team uses them. I know that Built Bar just did an amazing thing at Utah State, I believe. They paid the tuition for all of the walk-ons in their program. So Built Bar is doing great things on and off the field, but they are in the game of giving you the best protein bar. So go to built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off your order. That's LOCKED15 at builtbar.com.
Is that true? Is Dylan Bundy now in the bullpen? That's pretty interesting. I didn't realize that. He was the guy that they signed that they had to be their I don't want to say their ace.
But one of their better starters, right? Yeah. That's just you. That's classic California Angels front office GM mismanagement of a roster. And when you don't have a lot of pitching around them, you probably have to move guys in spots who wouldn't normally be in. So Zach Greinke in his last 3 postseasons, he was 1-1, he was 0-1 and 1-0. So that was like 2020, 2019, and back to 2015 or 16. I looked. So, I mean, he hasn't been great in the playoffs. We know he got pulled too early in 2019. That's a painful thing to bring up for all Astros fans. But I think now he's a different pitcher than what he was when he was with the Dodgers, when he was even in 2019. In 2020, he showed, I believe, where he's at, and I think he gets better with age. I know a lot of people are like, I just don't trust Greinke. And the reason why they say that, Eric, is because they're so used to the power pitchers. They're so used to the high velocity, And when they see someone like Greinke, it scares them. But y'all got to remember, Greg Maddux, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, I'd say top 10 pitcher easily, painted the corners with 88-mile-an-hour fastballs. You don't have to have power to be successful. I think Greinke will be fine in the playoffs. And yes, and World Traveler said he has experience, and you cannot put a price on experience.
Yeah, and Jose Urquidy, I always keep bringing him up, but what he's done in playoffs, what Luis Garcia did last year in playoffs, that is impressive because normally the young guys, Brandon Backey did it back in his day. Those young guys, they don't normally do that. They step up in the big time in playoffs. But Zach Greinke has done that. Zach Greinke's also put up some stinkers in the playoffs. So, but those guys normally get the job done. So that's going to be an interesting matchup in Game 1. I know it's going to be in California, and there's probably going to be quite a few Dodgers fans there, quite a few Boo Birds there. So,
yes, Springer. Did you see what Springer did in Anaheim?
No, I know he keeps on hitting home runs, but what?
So Springer gets up his first at bat with the Blue Jays in Anaheim, and he's getting. I mean, and you can hear in the background, cheater, getting booed, crushes a home run. Second at bat gets up, hits another home run. He hit 2 home runs in that game. That dude's on fire right now. He is absolutely crushing the ball. And it was great because I guess people are still calling him cheater, even though he's with the Blue Jays. He's not immune, I
was
guess.
wondering about that. I was wondering if people, when they leave the Astros, are they immune from being called
But
cheater?
People still aren't booing Marisnik and the other guys. Let's just be clear. Springer is booed
But
because he's a
Marisnik was the
different
guy that used it the most. Marwin Gonzalez was the guy that used it.
How many people outside of LA Dodgers hate Marwin Gonzalez because of what he did to them in the World Series? Nobody's going to a stadium to boo Marisnik and Gonzalez. No offense to either one of those guys. They're not the headliners. George Springer is the man. He was a big part of it. He was a part of the swagger, and he goes out and plays with his feelings on his sleeve. So he doesn't give a rip. He's having fun right now. So yeah, it's crazy.
Mr. Corona, there is a Locked On Angels podcast. They're just not on YouTube yet. So you can go listen to them just like you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, and just anywhere you can listen to our audio version. So, yeah, they are on there. They're just not on. Who is it? What's his name again? It's do you know?
Brent McGuire.
Yeah. So
Brent McGuire, Locked On Angels. He's a good guy. We've actually done a crossover with him. He's good guy, and all the stuff I'm saying, Eric, about the Angels, I've actually repeating some of the stuff he said.
Right.
The Angels fans, if you think it's funny from afar, imagine being an Angels fan. Imagine going, we got Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and we're 1 game under 500,
Right. All right. For game 2, it's going to be Luis Garcia versus Jaime Barria. And Garcia is 8-6 with a 3.29 ERA with a 1.09 whip, 129 strikeouts, and 106 2/3 innings pitched. Barria is 2-0 with a 4.21 ERA with 13 strikeouts and 25 2/3. I'm sorry, but you're about to be 2-1 because the Astros are going to take care of business and give you a loss. So
you tell him, Eric. Eric's like, yeah, take that, stupid face.
Boom, shakalaka laka, boom.
Drop the mic.
Yeah. So, that's game 2. I wonder if he's been a starter or a reliever. I guess they're just so desperate right now. No, he's been a starter. I guess he has been. No, he started the last 3 games. So I guess he was a reliever, but then he's been starting the last 3 games. But he started.
They were like, since we don't have Robel Garcia to pitch for us, why don't you pitch for us?
No, this is Barria.
I know. I'm joking. I'm giving you a hard time.
Okay, people are gonna keep on you're the one with the love for Garcia.
No, you dubbed yourself the president of the Robel Garcia fan club and then jumped ship.
All right,
yeah,
so
you fair weather fan.
This is actually impressive. Barria was a reliever. He pitched 4 innings out of the bullpen, and then the next start against the Minnesota Twins started the game and pitched 7 innings, then pitched 6 2/3 innings, then 6 innings. So out of the bullpen, pitched 4 innings, and then went 7 and 6 2/3, and then 6. So in his starts, he's only allowed the max he's allowed is 3 earned runs. Out of the bullpen, he was a part of he pitched against Blue Jays in a 15-1 loss, and he gave up 7 runs in that game. So it's hard to kind of tell what's going to happen in that game. But I think that Luis Garcia, after what happened in that last game, I think Garcia is going to just shut him down and just take care of it.
I think the Astros win.
Yeah, Ohtani's going to hit his token home run. I mean,
he'll hit a solo shot.
Yeah, that's what they always do. I mean, I'm trying to make it seem like the Angels.
I'm telling you, I would not be crushed if the Astros won 7-3 and Ohtani had 3 solo shots. I would be like, that's pretty freaking awesome. And I hope he hits like monster tape measure shots, like solo shots that are non-consequential. Let's do it.
Seriously, Jonathan, I can't say Garcia anymore. It's like I have
So here's the deal. I need to know, listeners. All right, let's have a powwow. Eric, you can kind of close your ears. If y'all will hit me up on Twitter and we can get enough money together, I'm pretty sure there's some Robel Garcia jerseys in the Authentic store at Minute Maid. If y'all want to throw money at my PayPal or my Venmo, I will share it with y'all and we can chip in together and buy him a Robel Garcia game-worn jersey.
It's probably like $5 anyway.
And if he won't wear it, I'll wear it. But y'all got to donate because I'm not spending money on it.
All right. So World Traveler says, let's hit the like button and make sure y'all go and subscribe to us anyway. So let's go and talk about game 3, the game that the Astros go ahead and sweep it because it's going to be Lance McCullers versus Reed Detmers. Lance McCullers is 9-3. He's going to get his 10th win. He has a 3.22 ERA with a 1.26 WHIP. He has 128 strikeouts and 109 innings pitched. Detmers is 0-2 with a lovely, very attractive, very sexy 10.61 ERA with 7 strikeouts and 9 and 1/3 innings pitched.
Yeah, he's a call up, right?
He is.
They just called him up, and let me just tell you something.
I can see
Eric.
why.
Well, here's the thing. Bet online is the fast and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. Baseball season is in full swing, and you can track all the action at Bet Online. Whether Detmers is on the mound or McCullers is on the mound, you can get the latest news and odds and info and all your sporting needs, including MLB, NBA, NHL, and all your UFC and MMA action. Before the next pitch, head over to Bet Online on your laptop or mobile device and check out all the great sporting news, sign-up bonuses, and contest information. Don't sit on the sidelines anymore. This is your chance to get in the game as teams prep for the run for the playoffs. Head to the website and use your mobile device. Sign up today. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Use the promo code LOCKEDON.
All right. You know what? I ate like at 4:00. I'm kind of hungry. You know what? I wish I could have something delivered. What would be something good to have delivered?
So I'm glad you asked because Wild Alaskan Company is all about delivery. They're all about fresh. And we know that eating more fish to get our omega-3s and protein is the way to go. But the problem is you have to go to the seafood counter, and that can be intimidating. Which fish tastes the best? What type of cut? Can you really be sure of the quality? Wild Alaskan Company takes the guesswork out of buying wild-caught seafood. You're used to having a lot of choices when it comes to eat, but it matters where your food comes from. Get your nutrition from nature the way the wild intended it. Wild Alaskan Company delivers high quality, sustainably sourced wild caught seafood right to your door. Each shipment contains premium wild caught, individually wrapped portions of delicious seafood that's ready to prepare and easy to cook. Wild Alaskan Seafood is how nature intended it to be. You can adjust, pause, or cancel your membership anytime, and they offer 100% satisfaction, guaranteed, or your money back. Get your nutrition from nature with Wild Alaskan Company. So right now, you can get $15 off your first box of premium seafood when you visit wildalaskancompany.com/MLB. That's wildalaskancompany.com/MLB for $15 off your first box.
All right, so I think we're both in agreement here. The Astros go ahead and sweep the series, and Shohei Ohtani hits like 5 home runs against the Astros.
Hey, he can hit 5 home runs against us as long as we sweep. I really don't care.
It's just what he does. He just wakes up and like, oh, who am I playing? Oh, I'm playing the Astros. Okay, I'm gonna hit a couple home runs today. That's all. That's what I'm gonna do. That's just what I do.
Did you see this?
Yeah, I put that up earlier. So.
Okay. Oh, so when I read, I switch to our read. So I'm not seeing what you're doing. You could literally be. Yeah, that's why I'm not seeing that.
Interesting. I'll remember that.
Yeah. You remember that, and y'all keep tabs on them, folks. You're watching, not me.
I'll remember that. So I'm gonna actually look to see what and Shohei Ohtani has done versus the Astros because I'm pretty sure he's crushed the Astros this year.
I don't know if he's crushed us. He's hit decently. I don't think he's crushed us though.
Actually, you're right. He's actually batting 194 with only 2 home runs this year.
I mean, he's hit 2 home runs, but he hasn't like hit.
I really thought it was. Why do I think it was better?
Because he's Shohei Ohtani. Because you bought into the hype of Shohei Ohtani. Ben Verlander, former guest, would be proud.
I mean, is this right? I mean, I thought he was better. Oh well.
No, okay, he is better, but the Astros have handled him aptly. They've actually struck him out a few times.
Maybe he had one good series or something. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think you just want him to do good, like me. Like, I'm serious. I love watching the guy hit home runs. As long as we win, I don't care.
Yeah.
So
38 home runs is pretty good. His OPS plus, where is that? Is His SOPS plus is 175, which is pretty good. So let me see, his total base is 250 on season. His BABIP is .305. He's got 16 stolen bases to add to this. So this is not only a guy that steals bases. I mean, he hits home runs. He strikes out people. This is just crazy that this guy has all this ability.
He's doing things that Babe Ruth never even did. So, I mean, the guy's pitched, he's hit 30 home runs and he's pitched 10 plus games, and Babe Ruth never hit 30 home runs while pitching 10 games in a season. That's pretty astounding. Mr. Corona says, should Yordan play in the outfield whenever we play the Royals, considering that's a big outfield? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Here's the thing. I know it's a big outfield, but the only question and concern is the other day they said, like, you know, his legs were a little sore. He was tired. You've got we're still waiting on Bregman. They're being patient with Bregman. He makes a start Friday night in Sugar Land. I'll actually be there. I'll actually be interviewing Brett Conine, one of their pitching prospects for the Skeeters. And
I thought you were doing.
I was gonna interview Hunter Brown, but he is pitching, so they don't do interviews on the day they pitch. So hey,
Justin Verlander treatment. I see.
Yeah, but they do that anyways. It doesn't matter if it's like the low man on the totem pole. But yeah. So I really go ahead.
Can I address that left field question?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
This was a tweet I saw earlier. I want to say it was from Chandler Rome. So Yordan Alvarez brought this up. So he feels a lot more comfortable playing in the field, and we've seen this before with Evan Gattis when he played with the Astros. And sometimes people just play better when they play in the field. They hit better. So in 304 plate appearances as a DH this season, he's batting 264, 326, 460, 786 OPS with 12 home runs. And 101 plate appearances as a left fielder, he's batting 356, 436, 746, 1.183 OPS with 10 home runs.
Hey, let's do it. Put him in the field. I'm just thinking from an injury standpoint, keeping him healthy, Eric, because we got so many players. That's the only thing I see them. I still think they treat him with kids' gloves. I've always been, hey, unleash the guy. Let him play. If he wants to play, let him play. He's so young. Why would you – exactly. He's more confident at left field. If he plays in the outfield, he'll play left field. He won't play right. He won't play center. You wonder if he can play first.
Yeah.
What was that?
I'm trying to do something, and then an ad played. So just give me a second to do something. But
okay,
here we go. All righty, and you ready? Let's see if he'll play. Guess who's coming?
Yordan Alvarez?
Nope.
Shohei Ohtani?
Nope. The Oakland Athletics. They are on a 7-game winning streak, and they are a season best 19 games over 500 at 67-48. They are 1.5 games back behind the Houston Astros, and they just kick the Indian Guardians' butt.
Indian Guardians?
To nothing.
Yeah, they crushed them.
Nothing. And remember all these people in our podcast yesterday, they're like, oh, go. The Indians are winning 2-0. Yeah, they lost that game. So the A's are winning a lot recently. Ever since they got Starlin Marte, they've been playing pretty great baseball. And the Astros have got to keep on winning. They can't keep on losing to these sorry, you know what teams. They've got to do what they did against the Rockies, what they did against the Twins. It's unexcusable. I know you're gonna go through rough stretches, but when you play these bad teams, you got to play your best baseball, and you can't lower yourself to the competition. And I know somebody made a comment on one of your shorts you did and said, well, why did you title it bad teams? Well, the Astros have been playing bad against the bad teams.
Because have you watched the game this year? They can't play bad teams. But here's the thing. They're going on the road. They do great in hostile environments. Anaheim's going to be hostile. They're going to go to KC, and the Kansas City Royals people are going to boo, even though we know in 2015 they were cheating and stealing signs, and that's how they won the World Series in 2015. So they're going to be hypocrites and boo as well. And that's going to fuel the Astros fire. I don't see the Astros walking away from these 7 games anything less than 5-2 or 6-1 in this. And let me tell you, the Oakland A's are playing tougher competition. The Indians aren't tough competition right now. So these next 9 games for the A's, the next 9 games for the Astros are going to be huge. And it could flip-flop. It could change more than once. I would like them to keep 2 games. They beat the Angels, and then Oakland maybe loses. They go up 2.5. They gain a game, and then but you've got to add to it. You're right. They've got momentum, and Oakland is pesky. We've seen this. We've got to make it to the playoffs as the division leader, I believe. I think that's our best scenario.
And Fernando brings up a good point. The Astros play better when the pressure is on them, and the A's are putting pressure on them. So I think that's the A's are going to put pressure on them. So I think we'll see the best baseball playing by the Houston Astros right now. So I think that's all we got for tonight's Locked On Astros podcast. We kind of previewed the series. We think it's going to be a sweep with maybe a lot of good baseball by Shohei Ohtani, but that the Angels are still going to lose at least 2 of the games, if not all 3 of the games. And we'll be back on Sunday with another Locked On Astros podcast, hopefully talking about some victories. And somebody says you can't wait to go back to Seattle. Yeah, the Seattle fans love us. Love us. They're our besties.
Oh, yeah, we took their closer.
Yeah. And
the series.
And somebody said A's will be in first place before Bregman comes back. Wait, can I withdraw that? Yeah, let me take that back. I'm taking that comment back. Anyway, so guys, make sure you go and subscribe to us on YouTube and go and tell a friend. And I'm not going to go into the whole tell friend like that Brett did yesterday. But
you just did.
Whatever. But betting on the Astros doesn't have to be a guessing game. If you listen to a new Locked On Bets podcast hosted by your boy Q and handicapping expert Lee Sterling, get daily picks, blowout special, wrong team favorite, and Lee Sterling's lock of the day. Follow the Locked On Bets podcast, brought to you by the betonline.ag, wherever you get your podcast. And we'll be back on Sunday with another edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. And hopefully we'll be talking about a sweep of the Shohei Ohtanis. Oh, wait, that's not what they're called. What are they called?
They're called the Mike Troutless Angels.
That doesn't. Oh, Angels. That's what they're called. Yeah. We'll be back on Sunday.